Okay. Welcome everyone to the consultant webinar for the upcoming advanced signage for posted bridges study. I have a short slide deck to talk through, and then we'll be opening up for any questions, but then also questions can be submitted to me up until the RFP posts in a couple of weeks. Just always tying back to our vision and mission about how this can help us be leaders in transportation infrastructure to provide a safe, efficient, environmentally sound, and fiscally responsible transportation system that delivers economic opportunity and enhances the quality of life in Kentucky. First off, here's our agenda. We're going to do some introductions, talk about the goals of the study and the potential scope, talk about pre-qualification requirements, some basic information about the project that shows up on the front end of the RFP, go through the procurement timeline, and then see if there are any questions at the end. And I have started recording. So first off, I'm going to do some introductions of the KYTC folks that are on the call. If you just say hi when I call your name. First off, I'm Steve DeWitt, the branch manager of strategic planning and kind of program leader for the SPR planning program. We'll go Dora.
Hi.
John.
Hi, I'm John. I'm an intern for the Division of Planning.
Catherine.
Hey, Catherine Davis, Planning Liaison for Districts 1, 6, 9, and 11.
Kim.
Hi, I'm Kim Furlong. I'm an intern in planning.
Libby.
Hello, I'm Planning Liaison for Districts 2, 3, and 10.
Sadie.
Hi, I'm Sadie Middleton. I'm with the Division of Planning as a federal program specialist, mostly working with the MPOs.
Nathan.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm Nathan Ridgway. I work for Steve doing hodgepodge studies and statewide planning.
Tim.
Good morning, everyone. Tim Tharp, Division of Traffic Operations.
And Jeff.
Jeff Wolf, Traffic Engineering Branch in the Division of Traffic Operations. Liaison for 5 of the 12 districts.
Thank you all. So the background of this study, and there's going to be a lot of slide reading, and I apologize because that's not usually how I roll, but I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. The impetus of the study is that the 11th edition of the MUTCD now requires the placement of an additional weight limit sign for you traffic heads. That's the R12-5 or the R12-6, along with a distance or directional legend in advance of a weight limit posted structure, so that vehicles who are prohibited can detour or turn around prior to the limit zone. And that's in MUTCD 2B.64.14. As a reminder, the department maintains approximately 2,300 bridges which have a weight limit posting that are on state maintained roadways. The objective of this study is to systematically identify the most suitable location and assembly of signage and legends to meet the minimum requirements of the MUTCD alongside the Traffic Operations Memo number 1-26 that lays these requirements out. Here's a schematic that's in the operations memo of what we are talking about. Basically at the top of each scenario, one for an intersection, one for an interchange, you can see a weight limited structure, and then in advance of that, an intersection to detour or turn around along with that sign assembly. As you can see, in addition to the signage posted at the bridge, there are at least in this example, there are 3 additional signs per structure that occur. And then a similar assembly layout at an interchange where there's on the freeway portion that there is a weight limited structure. The scope of services that we've identified so far, and again, this is subject to change, and this is a lot of free thinking that we have been doing between planning, traffic ops, and maintenance. The biggest thing is to develop a scalable GIS-based methodology to map the weight posted bridges on state maintained roadways, identify the appropriate advanced warning locations, those cross streets, and determine the signage assembly, language, and legends. We're not trying to detour these vehicles completely around the structure. We are simply trying to comply with the METCD to divert them off of that structure. So that this would include defining logic for selecting those decision points, accounting for the complex network topology, and identifying treating potential complex or edge cases. Immediately off the bat, you could see that if you're trying to divert a vehicle off of one route onto another, that route may have its own posted bridge or posted structure that needs to be treated. Our idea is to apply this methodology to the posted structures on state maintained roadways and start off with a selected pilot county or counties in which to deploy this methodology that can then be refined and repeated on a county by county basis as the weight posting data is processed by DORA and the Division of Maintenance. This would, of course, involve a lot of coordination with central office and district traffic ops and maintenance staff for both the primary kind of layouts and as well as all of those edge cases that we might uncover. Given that this is a large amount of data, we would develop a QA/QC plan for quality control and validation of that data and any deployment. And ultimately, we would compile this into documentation and mapping, which can be easily used as a guide to deploy that signage as funding becomes available. And that's this would be a district traffic task to deploy those signage assemblies. For pre-qualification, we've identified three requirements, and because of specific aspects of this job, I wanted to share why we had selected those. For in-depth structure inspection, that's for familiarity with bridge posting and bridge weight limits. The advanced traffic engineering design and modeling is where traffic control devices, including signing, is required among our pre-quals. And then conceptual transportation planning is where the first entry into processing transportation related data comes through. For project information, the project manager from the Division of Planning will be Nathan Ridgway. Our user divisions, as you can tell, is quite large. It's planning, traffic operations, and maintenance. The liaison from traffic operations will be Jason Hyatt, and the liaison from maintenance is Dora Alexander. As an approximate fee, we've thrown out $500,000 as a cost plus contract. Really don't have a clear indication of the level of effort that will be involved in this, and I think there's a lot of room for efficiency and scalability and the use of other tools that might be available now. And so I think there's a lot of room to be innovative in approach to minimizing the number of production hours required. And then this is funded through statewide planning and research, SPR federal funds. procurement timeline, just straight off the professional services website. This will go out in the July bulletin on the 14th. Of course, because of that, all of these dates are already publicly available, but the responses would be due on August 5th, first selection August 10th, final selection August 26th. Try and hit a scoping conference early September with the goals of a notice to proceed into October. And that's what I have. There will be some more information in the RFP when it does post. But now I just wanted to open it up to see if there's any questions from anyone. The slides here and the recording will be posted back on the professional services website after our webinar is concluded. Please send any questions to me prior to the 14th, which we will then post with answers. But then after the RFP goes out, it's just the normal process through Eric for any questions. So wanted to leave it there and open it up if anyone has anything.
Steve, I've got a quick question here.
Yes,
So
sir.
essentially, the consultant teams are going to be developing the sign standards and the sign plans to be giving to or providing to the district sign engineers for installation?
The biggest thing will be, and Jeff especially chime in here if I'm wrong, the locations is the biggest thing. We will have the what the bridge is posted for from DORA, and then you kind of either slap on a directional arrow or some kind of other indicator on top of it. So yeah, it's an assembly plan, but it's very, we would already know what needs to be on the sign and what direction it needs to point. The important thing is to know where it needs to go.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. So it's the same standard protocol that district traffic engineers and district sign teams have been doing for a little while. It's just that we've got so many structures that it's not something that we can do in-house. Okay. Thank you.
Jeff, do you have anything to tack on to that answer?
No, I pretty much agree with what you said. Again, what level, as you get into it, it might expand depending on what a district would really like to see. But I think at this point, just trying to streamline that process and identify locations is the primary goal here. Depending on what district you work in, there may be some specific requests that come from them as far as maybe a more detailed end product. But at this point, we just envision, identifying those locations based on the restrictions and the development of a process that could maybe be then utilized by maybe other consultants or continuing consultant support or our own in-house staff to expedite the delivery of this. Just I don't remember if you mentioned it or not, Steve, but I will. This is one of the handful of items in the new MUTCD that has a target compliance date, which was 5 years out from the adoption date of the MUTCD. So that is January 18th of 2029. So ultimately, that is where this desire for support comes from. It's not a typical change in the MUTCD where it's, hey, just fix it as you address those items. It has, the FHWA has deemed this item of significance and attached a compliance date to that item.
Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, I had not mentioned that. I thought I put it in the slides, but I did not. And so the schedule will be finalized in the RFP, but it's obviously decently in advance of that 2029 compliance date because more than just the study needs to be done at that point.
I have a question. Is it weight only or vertical clearance?
This is dealing with weight only. for compliance with this specific section of the MUTCD. I guess I want to stress again, kind of minimal, baseline compliance with that section. We're not trying to detour them all the way around. Just signage to notify them that a route is not suitable for them. Any other questions? All right, like I said, July 14th, prior to then, send your questions to me. I'll get this hopefully posted once it finishes processing, hopefully later today. And thank you for your interest, and good luck if you choose to pursue this. And I hope you all have a great rest of your morning and a great week. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Steve.